applications I just updated. Vajrang, this Excel, it can be installed and without installing also we can do, right? So it comes under thin or thick client.
So if you are using activities only, then don't need to mention it at all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But if it is Excel, then it's always a thick client, not thin client, because that's an application that will be installed, right?
Uh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is this? Open browser, click on inventory, click on products and beverages, click on product seasons, click on stores list.
Mm.
Everything is click on where are you extracting the data.
No, it's inside this actually. I've added the
Okay.
actions inside that.
So you should have updated that one as well. Okay. Scroll down. So there is no as detailed process map. That's fine. Scroll down.
Here I updated and what to do exactly.
Yeah,
Like
that's fine.
the
Scroll down.
that's it. I mean exceptions I didn't update.
Okay. So for our process, okay, we'll discuss on other things as well. Okay. Anyone else who have created it?
Yeah, Vajrang, I have created it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so let me share my screen.
Diagram can be improved. Pratyusha.
Okay.
Let me know once my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is visible. Get to the main things, not the general activities that I know already.
So as this flow, I have updated the details.
Super. So
Uh,
user launches Pega application using Chrome. Super. Upon log successful login, user will navigate into navigate. Okay, excellent. Scroll down, scroll down. This is good.
Then I have added this kind of data here, like
Okay.
what is short description, what is the role of the user that is using this application to perform the process, the
Super.
frequency,
Super.
then process restriction, like I just added it that Pega is on maintenance between at night.
That's fine. That's fine.
This kind of details, what is input data, this order placed by users from Pega application
Okay.
are displaying there, and output will be the top 3 orders of the day.
Okay.
Um, then this applications I have used, I need to check here whether it is correct or not, thick or thin.
That's right. That's right.
Then as this process map, I have actually added detail.
You used swimlanes. Okay.
Yes, yes. So I think I don't know whether it is visible or not.
That's fine. I can see it. Continue.
Okay, so there are three seam lines: input, processing, and output. So input, open browser and navigate to Pega application, then log in the Pega application using valid set of credentials. Then extract all the tables, then sign out from Pega. Once we have extracted, so in this we are writing into Excel file as well. So once the writing is done, we are doing the processing, right, by creating 2 new columns, then identifying those data in those 2 new columns, and then sort the data, and then in the output panel we are getting the first 3 values and updating into a Word template. So this 3 process. Uh, so basically it is high level, sorry, it is a detailed as this process. So that's why I mentioned same as above. Um, and these are the actions.
Okay.
Enter a valid password. So we have been entering password.
Okay.
Click on sign in.
So whatever you have done, that's fine. So today we'll see a few other things. Something like what is to be process diagram. See, we are going slow. That is intended. The main reason we are going slow is to identify what are the things that we are not doing earlier. So have you created before joining this session or before joining these meetings? Do you really know how things are available and how are we continuing with the steps, or is it the first time that you're seeing the actual process?
First time.
What about others?
First ever.
Yeah, same Vajram first times.
Okay. So understand, see, our project training is not about writing a code. Okay, that you already know, that you already are aware of how to add an activity, how to add properties and all. But thinking beyond that is what we need to see. Okay, I'm sharing my screen. Let's just update this one. Okay. So if you have the videos already available with you, then just update them here. You also have the edit option. So please update them here. You can also update this document. There is no need for only me to update this. Okay. Next thing is we will see on the architecture front and to be process flow. And process architecture. So when you say about process architecture, what do we really mean to be? What do we mean? What is it? Don't be silent. Okay. So while working with process architecture, there is something called um, multi-board architecture. Single board architecture. So in multi-board architecture, we can have something called performer and dispatcher. In single board, we'll have everything in a single, every activity in a single process, all activity. Single project. Here, performer will be a different project code. Dispatcher will be a different project code. Okay. Now, with our process, with our current process, can we design a single project or can we design a multi-board architecture? What exactly is it? Now, if we get an input from the application and if we continuously work on it, and if we complete the process, okay. And there is also one more thing. How can we convert? There is some flow, transactional process, iterative types of process, linear, transactional, iterative. Okay. So in linear, one start, one item to process, end. In transactional, start once, work on each transaction, If no more transactions, then end. In iterative process, start, work, end, repeat. Okay. So in linear process, if you see, so this particular code is there in main file. I'm trying to write 2 cells or 2 activities. So is this a repetitive process or a linear process or a transactional process?
Linear process
Why?
because it is in a single step and it is not repeatable.
It's not repeating or if there is no loop back. Okay. Now let's try to change the same thing. Okay. I will just try to add a for loop. I will just try to add a flowchart over here. Flowchart. Okay. So in this flowchart, we'll have some activities. Sequence. Okay. There is a decision block. And after decision block, let's add one more sequence. So this is process steps. If there is no, for example, and process steps. So here what we will see is next item available. There is a next item, then we will close. Here we can say read input data. The simple example that I'm trying to make out here is let's assume that this is the data sheet. Sorry. Open item. Okay, this is not coming in. Open file location. There is some bug. It's not allowing. Okay, data file. So we have 1, 2, 3. Let's add index result. Okay, the requirement is simple. I just need to take one row as an input and add 1 to it or multiply it by 2 and then save it in the result. Okay, so that is my simple activity. So here in the read input, I will just use read range. But this will be available on, I will use classic activity, read range workbook activity. Here, let's map it. Data. Sheet name is sheet 1. And this can be an input. Properties. DT input. Now you might have known all these steps, but understand different types of executions and different implementations. Now this is my flowchart. And in this next item available, what am I trying to do is I will give a index, str index, and I will assign it to 0. Okay. So what I will actually validate this one with this one is integer in the properties. Let's check if dt input dot row count and int or str input index if it is less than row count. See, simple. Now I have 4 items. So it will start from 0. Index, I will keep on incrementing the index. As the increment index is greater than or equal to the item, this particular rows, then we need to end the process. No more items to process. So here what we will do is, I will just add a log message. I will just add a log message. In this log message, just write dt input dot rows of str. This should be string and dot toString, and this should be multiplied by 2. Okay, or else I can add 2 to it as a string value. Okay, 1 2 2 2. This will come something like this. So after adding, then it should go back and fetch a next item. See here, I'm completing one item and I am fetching back and getting the next item. Should I read this again? I already had all the data, right? Should I read the data again or can I continue?
No need to read it again.
Why? Because I already read all the table. I have all the table. I read only once, so I got only one row. I completed transaction and I go and get the next row. Instead of that, do I need to get the complete data table?
No.
Not
Because I have
required, right?
already saved it in the table. Yeah.
So let's debug it. So what will be the result? Can anyone tell? I'll have a stop. So this is my input. I don't want to continue deliberately. I stopped it. So this is my input. Sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 1. Okay, so this is my sheet. This is my index. So what will be my result? Is it 1 2 1 3 1 1 2 2 2 2 3 2? We have added it as a string, right? It's not numbers. Should this be my result or not?
No, it will add it 1 plus 2, 2 plus 2, 3 plus 2.
No, I have added concatenation. It's a string concatenation. So this will be the result. Is it correct or not? Let's see. Run the file. I'm running the file. Output. So why is it entering system.data.data row 2? And it entered 2000 times. Why?
So we have not incremented, I guess. So it goes in infinite loop.
Exactly. That's a good point. So let's increment and str index plus 1. I'll just change this str to int integer. So here goes. But one thing that I need to observe here is it's coming as dt input rows of int index.toString. So this I'm really worried. Why is it coming as dt input rows? Okay, let's see. Run it again. So what is the expected result now? So what did we get? System.data row data of two, data of one, data of two. So one thing that's happening is we have taken the index, row index, but we haven't taken what column should we print out. So here this should be of 0. So it comes in two places, rows, then columns. Now let's see. Run file. So what is the output that we are going to get? What is the output?
1 2 2 2 3 2.
So now is this a linear process or transactional process or iterative process?
Iterative process.
Iterative.
So when can we say that this is a transactional process?
If it process data individually.
Now each row is an individual item, right? It's processing
Oh,
each
yes.
row individually.
Yes.
Is it not right? It's processing every row.
But it get data once and processing it.
Yeah, that's correct. So what exactly happened is it's extracting all the information and then it is trying to process. Okay. The problem here is it need to store the information. All the information should be stored over here. But in transactional items, we will use only that particular transaction item and then we will work on it. So let's see how we can do that. Here, I will just try to add it to bulk data table, bulk IQ items, and I will see resources and I will see the queues. Do we have any queues? Virtual plots queue. Let's open and see what's there in it. So there are 86 items remaining. I will just create a new item. Create new on 2022. So I'm just turning off auto retry and this will stay for 30 days. Okay. So this is my item. So what I will do, I will just add DT input and I will add a queue item. Queue name is this one. Okay. Save it. Now in this particular item, I'm trying to convert this into a transactional item. So what I can do is I can just copy this one, copy, and then paste it. So this one, let's change this to transactional item. Okay. Now in this transactional item, what do we have? We have the same things. Only thing that's different is instead of checking with next item, we will add something called get transaction item. Get transaction item. Okay. Now let's go ahead and add it over here. And let's come and keep it over here. Here we are going to check properties. Now this will not be checking with the index. Irrespective of index, it will check if from here did we get any transaction or not. Properties. Here we can see transaction item as transaction item. Let's create it as well. So transaction item is of type what? It's a queue item. From queues, it's going to get one item and we are going to see it. So do we need index over here?
No.
The reason being from the orchestrator, we are picking up the item. So there is no need for index. Okay. So this one also we can remove. And how can we get value from orchestrator queue?
Specific transaction item dot specific content.
Transaction item dot specific content, and we need to give the key name. And the key is, what is the key? If we are taking it from the sheet directly, then it will be the column name. So this is our column name, is our key. So just copy it and paste it. Okay. Index dot push. I'm just trying to print out. Okay. If there are no items, let's just turn this one. If there are no items, okay, then don't process this particular item. And process, there is nothing to do. Let's see what's the error over here. Value required for activity argument Q name was not supplied. Properties. Q name is AUG 2020. 202. Save it. Now let's see. First thing, let's not add our data. Control D, and let's try to work on this. And here, let's see ending since no more transactions. Now let's run this file, debug file. Okay, int index is not available. So there is somewhere we have int index, it's corrected one. So where is int index? Flow chart. Properties. Okay, I think the int index is in here. Process sequence. Is it in the main? No.
I think that log
Yes.
message.
Where is the error? This one, no. Yeah, here you go. Properties. Here we will check. Transaction item is not nothing. So if there is no value, then it will be nothing. Okay. So this is our queue. Where is this one? This is our queue. Let's open transaction items. Okay, there are no items. Let's run the file. Let's see. So from here we will get the log, and here we will get a debug file. Okay, why there is no transaction item? Why did the bot end without working on any transaction item? We had the data, right? What happened?
Data not added to queue.
Exactly. So I have commented this one. I'll just uncomment it. Run file. Let's go back. Output. So it's taking up all the items. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. It's continuously printing out the same item. Okay, let's stop it. And let's see what's the error. Properties. The error is we are not picking a new item. It's coming and it already picked an item, it's continuously doing it. So instead of having it over here, let's add it to here. So every time after completing the one, it will print again. Let's close this one. It is completed. So how many items are available now? 3 items. View details. So this is 1. And this is 2. The next value. And this is 3. Okay. Now, if I don't add or if I comment out read range activity and bulk add queue items activity, will this process execute or not? I didn't add any items. Will this process execute or not?
Yeah, it
If
will
yes,
execute.
if yes,
Because
why?
already read the data.
Okay. Any other answers? Okay, simple. See, whatever we want to process, the data is already there in the orchestrator. So we are trying to get one item from the orchestrator and we are trying to process it. If there is already an item in the orchestrator, one transaction item that's already there in the orchestrator, then it will be able to process it until it has some data or it has some item in it. So let's see. So now if you see the output, I'll just remove the trace. Transaction started 2, transaction started 3, no transaction data. Let's see. Just close it. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so let's see. Now everything is in progress and we have the values. Okay, why is it in progress state? Why is it not in completed state? Can someone tell why is it not in completed state?
Yeah, set transaction item not given.
So when get transaction item, whenever we use this item will convert a new item to in progress state. We also need to convert or we need to set the item. So we need to use set transaction item. Set transaction item. And this one we need to give in transaction item. And we need to send in what is the output type. So this is successful. Status is successful. If you want to give failure, we can give failure as well, but this is fine. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run the item, run file. Now, how many items will it execute now? Will it execute all the items? Or how many? How many?
It won't execute.
It won't execute. Why?
It's already executed.
Yes. So if you see properly, get transaction item will only pick the new items. It will not pick the any in progress state or any completed state. Get transaction item will pick only the new items. Now let's add items and then let's try to work on it. Control E. Start. Debug. Okay. Now can you see in progress state successful, successful, successful. Okay. So if we set the transaction item to success, only then it will be successful. Now tell me one thing, how can we write data to output data? How can we write data to output data? In set transaction status, in the properties, there is output data. Okay. So here we can write our output value. Result. Now dot. I'm just giving out some random value, but if I want to give any output, I can give it. It can be a string or it can be an integer. Okay, so save it. Now run it, run the file. See, we don't have any output here till now. It's null. But once we complete the process, let's see the outputs. View transaction item, view details. So what is the output?
Date and time.
So this result is
Yeah.
is it a predefined value or we can give anything we want?
We can give anything.
So like this one, this is also a key. Okay, I can give whatever I want. That's the name for our representation. Okay, I will tell you one last thing. Analytics data. So for example, this is we want to filter the details or we want to filter the items for invoice reconciliation process. So we need to filter all the logs or analytics for it. So how do we do it? We will use analytics information. You can see here that this is analytics data. So that data also you can add. The transaction status, properties, analytics. This one, process name. And this can be a keyword, invoice reconciliation. Okay. So where this analytics will be used, if you want to create any dashboards or if you want to make sure that thousands of records are available. In that 1,000 records, I want to filter only reconciliation values. So if I want to do something like that, I can do something, add the values or add keys. So this is for our customization. Okay. There is no specific reason to add analytics value only for our process. But if we have any such dashboard creation or any such value, we can have this particular value. So if you see, all the items will have only one value. So if I want to dynamically add the values, I can also do that. But I'm just trying to make a key and value, like process name. I'm just giving out the process name. So understood how to add information on all the three items? Yes, no? So now this is a transactional process. Did you understand all the three steps? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, with our process or with this process, can you tell me, is this a performer bot or a dispatcher bot?
Dispatcher.
Why? The items are getting extracted and we are processing the values, right? How can it be dispatcher?
Both.
Yes. So whenever a project contains a way to extract the information and to work on it, then it contains both. So let's assume that this input data we have removed from here. Okay, so let's add it here. So instead of transactional item, let's change this to performer. Okay. Let's add one more file. Add sequence dispatcher. Create. And here let's add these values. Okay. Now this project, is it a performer project or a dispatcher project? So if I run performer now, will the items be added to orchestrator or not?
Yes, it will add it. If you run performer, it will be added.
So let's see.
No, it won't add it. It won't add it. They will not use the read rate.
It's not getting added. So we have separated the dispatcher from the performer. Okay. See, dispatcher is not only to add items to orchestrator, but to do all the pre-steps. For example, in our process, where is this? GitHub. Downloads, GitHub, code. Git GUI. Yeah. So let's just add this one. Code files. Testing. Dated 5/15. Okay. Stations. Yes. Okay, all these are my screenshots. Commit and push. And taking it to main branch. Remote is fine. Push. Okay. There will always be some error. Okay. Sorry, what was I saying? We are checking with our requirements, right? So let's see with our requirements. Close. Where is the document? Can you add the document here, please? I just need it. Or else I will also see it over here if I have it. Vajrang, Augustine, week 2, Pega use case. Data. No, I don't have it. Can someone add it and commit? Studio code. Yep. So file, open project, open folder. I will open that is correct folder. I trust, yes. Source control. Really help me. Sorry. File, open, recent. Yeah. No. GitHub. Let's see. Changes. Sync changes. Yes. Should be there with Chetan, right?
Yes, Vajra.
Start changes. Restore file. Okay. So Chetan Patel. I didn't have the updated code. Let's just see. Commit. Did you send it in the chat? Or have you updated it? Guys, what are you doing? No one is active or what? I need a file. I need the input file. I need the use case.
So I think Vajrang, you have in the previous folder, yesterday's folder. In your yesterday's folder, I think yesterday you have closed it.
Filtering data. That mission is different. That's the reason we use.
Oh, okay. So
It's there in my folder, Vajrang.
Okay, I think I got it. Leave it. So be active. Don't be so silent. Okay, now here, all this process. Can we tell that extracting all the data and leaving it for Excel to process or filtering the data? So from 1 till this particular item where we need to filter out items with minus item. So can we take that till here? This is a dispatcher process because no other activity we are doing, if you observe, other than extracting the information. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay. And in performer, can we just say that we are populating or we are creating new price and address and we are updating? So can we say that? Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
So now is dispatcher process only used to update items to orchestrator, or is it anything different?
Yeah, to upload the items to orchestrator.
So is dispatcher only used to update the items to orchestrator or anything different? That's my question.
Not.
Think again and answer. Now let's take simple example. One more example I will take. So there is one folder. Okay. So in this folder, there are list of files. And here there is an input. This is the input folder. And there are some folders. New folder. Robot one. Okay. One more folder I will take. This is robot two. This is robot three. This is robot four. This is robot five. Now the implementation is something like this. I have one text document. Okay. So I have multiple documents. Okay. Now my requirement is I have 5 different robots. Robot 1 will pick only from robot 1 folder. In the same way, robot 5 will pick from robot 5 folder. And it need to add it need to open or it need to open the item and add current date format or anything. It just need to process this file. So with these steps, let me write the steps again. Performer dispatcher steps. Where is this one? To be processed flow. Okay, this one performer dispatcher flow. So this is the use case. We'll go with use case first. Requirement. Okay. Files will be available in input folder. Robots will work on their own folders. Robot 1, robot 2, and so on, robot n. So these will not check the input folder. These robots will not check the input folder. Now, how will you structure this particular use case? We have 1 more minute. Please unmute and talk. Just give pointers or just tell what you know.
First, it will update data into orchestrator.
Again, see, we don't have orchestrator. That's what I said. Performer and dispatcher is not about adding items to orchestrator. Think big, think different.
At performance state, it will read the data, and we can work with like sheets also, Excel sheet also.
No. Can anyone tell one more item? Just again, can you please repeat what you are telling?
I think in dispatcher we will read the data, and every we will store in the one. I mean,
Correct. You are going good. Continue.
yeah, we will store data in one, but oh, on data table, and each robot will read the particular data. But
Why do we
robot one
need
will
it?
read.
Tell me one
Sure.
thing. Why do you need a data table?
Um,
See, normally what will happen while our learning phase is if there is one sample that's given, you always think on using that sample. So come out of that sample as well and rethink about this architecture. How? What should a bot do to make sure other bots reads and process information from their own folders?
We should separate the files and store in their respective folder.
Exactly, that's what I'm expecting. So see here, there are multiple items. So there will be a dispatcher bot that will read all the items or list of items. It will pick first item and it will cut from here and it will paste in this one. And it will do the second item. Control X, Control V. Next, Control X, Control V. Now tell me, are we using orchestrator here? Yes or no? Are we using orchestrator here or not?
no, it's true.
No. But what is the transaction item here? One single file path is a transaction item. Okay, so that item is moving from one folder to a different folder. And which robot is doing this particular activity? Assigning to different folders.
Dispatcher.
Exactly. Now here, this comes our dispatcher code. So first, what the dispatcher will do, the dispatcher code will do, it will first read all items from input folder, move each item to one robot folder. Now performer, there can be multiple performers, robot 1, robot 2, robot 3, and so on, robot n. Each performer reads robot 1 folder and work on that folder only. Okay, it is not concerned about other folders. Okay, simple way in orchestrator queue. For example, if there are multiple queues. So when we are working on August queue, are we really concerned about this virtual plots queue? Are we doing it or not? Or are we just considering only August 2022?
Only August 22.
So the bot, it's working on its own assigned queue. It will not work on all the items. Okay. Now, tell me one thing now. Is a dispatcher adding items to orchestrator queue, or is it anything different?
Yeah, it is reading the data and it is separating it as well.
A better answer. I'm expecting a better answer. Everyone can try.
So it is like doing the prerequisites for a bot, like for operation.
For a performer?
Yes, correct. Dispatcher is doing a prerequisite for performer.
Can we say something like this? Dispatcher is a process which assigns or which creates data for a performer to work.
Yes.
Okay.
That makes
So
sense.
I'm just updating it again. Dispatcher. Let's try to comment. Dispatcher is a code that is used to create data that should be executed by the performer robot. Okay. Irrespective of if it is a orchestrator queue or if it is a database. For example, I am creating in 10 tables. I am using 10 tables in database, and our robot will add items to one table, and like that it will add items to 10 different tables. So my performer bot will pick item from one table and work on it, and the second bot will pick on from the second table and it will work on it. Okay, now are we adding items to orchestrator queue or not in this particular process? Yes or no?
No.
No,
All right.
no.
It will work only with the items. Now, with respect to performer, the definition can be something like this. The performer bot is a process of a code, is processing of a code which works on items that is assigned to it. It can work only on a single item that is assigned to it. It is not concerned about what a dispatcher is doing. It is not concerned about what other performer is doing. It has its own activities and it will be working on its own list of steps. Okay. Now, did you understand the difference between dispatcher and performer code?
Yes,
I have taken enough time so that you all will understand. Because see, every code can be written as a performer and dispatcher. But the only difference that you need to see is how should you divide it so that the process can be executed in parallel or the execution can be done in parallel. Understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
yes.
What about Satish, Kalingraj? We'll stop the session for today. I hope you understood the major idea behind the architecture. It's not about writing a code in writing the code into orchestrator queue. It's much more than that. And we should also see about exceptions. We should also see about how the bot processes and performs. So all these things will come into architecture. It's not only about writing a Excel activity or writing a Excel activity. Okay. Sai Kumar, did you understand? Sai Kumar, you need to unmute. Sai Kumar, did you understand or not?
Yeah, understood.
And one more thing, don't join as guest because you will not have option to chat.
No.
Okay, join with your login again credentials.
Okay.
Okay, you will not be able to see all the notes as well if you join this guest. Okay, what about you, Srikanth? Anvish?
Yes.
You would understand, Srikanth?
Yeah, understood.
Okay. Yes, I can go on that. Okay, for now, our session is completed. Give me a quick intro about yourself, Srikanth. Tell me about yourself. Srikanth,
Yeah, Vajrang, yeah.
tell me about yourself.
This is Ravikant, not Srikanth, actually.
I am seeing SR Kant. Okay, Ravikant. Okay, tell me.
Yeah, yes.
Ravikant.
Yeah, yeah. This is Ravikant.
Yeah. Tell me.
Born and brought from my native place, that is a debate in Telangana. I
Ravi,
studied.
this is an interview. Keep that in mind. Interview.
Actually, I am not prepared. Actually, I am in some other mode. That's I can try next time, Vajra.
There is no next time, buddy. Be ready. Okay. So this is
Yeah.
already the second week. We will have only 2 more weeks. By the time you
Yeah.
complete this week, the time will be flying very fast, and new batch will be started very soon. So there is no time. You should be prepared. Anvesh, Anvesh, can you tell me about yourself? Anvesh, Satish,
Vajra,
yeah, go ahead.
hi. This is Satish. Actually, no. Hi, this is Satish Gura. Actually, I'm not prepared about what you say, Vajra. I prepared that's only.
Wrong answer, buddy. Krishna,
Yeah, Vajra.
tell me about yourself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, myself, Sai Krishna, and I have overall 4.1 years of work experience and 2.0 years into the RPA UiPath development. Prior to that, I was worked in the .NET support role, so I got a chance to shift it to UiPath technology, and I have a good and I also have a good understanding with the orchestrator activities. And I have deployed the different kinds of bots like SAP, Oracle, and Salesforce, Excel automation, and PDF automations. And I do have experience in the previous versions of architecture, that is in 2019 or 2020, and the latest version of architecture, that is 2022. And yeah, I have certified basic and advanced UiPath certification.
You have a good start, buddy, but Orchestrator 2021 is what normally everyone are using now. 2021 point. Okay, I will tomorrow, after tomorrow, I will tell you how to identify and tell with the versions. But you did a good start. But one thing you remember, you should not start by giving such a short description. So just remember the description or tell me about yourself should kill at least 10 minutes of the interviewer's time.
Okay.
Okay. The reason is when you said or when you spoke for 10 minutes, then there will be very less for an interviewer to ask more. And you will be as a, see, in every interview, there will be two things that will happen. Either interviewer will control your session or you will control interviewer. Only these two things can happen. You should always be in a position that you control interviewer and you tell answers in such a way the next question should come from the previous answer that you should have given, you have already given, and you should anticipate or expect them. How will you get that? By attending 1 or 2 interviews, you will be able to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Thank you.
everyone prepare your resumes. Don't delay. I will say this every day if you want me to say, but if we are running it very fast, and if you are taking it a pause or making it a delay, then it will be tough for you. Okay, people who are able to crack the interviews, they made themselves come out of those comfort zones and worked on it. Work on it. Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you,
Bye.
Vajra. Bye.
Bye.